Monique Priestley.
And I am Orlando Dempster. Thank you for tuning in to the UCJCI's channel. For this week's episode, we will be reflecting on an outstanding minister, the late Reverend Henry Earl Thames.
We will also feature Jovan McConnell from the Southern Regional Mission Council on our Show Me Emotion segment. He is a dancer, choreographer, and the PRO of the United Church Young People's Fellowship.
Welcome, Javon, to the UCJCI's channel. It's very good to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
So, Javon, we hear you have a new post as the PRO for the UCYPF. Tell us a little more about that.
For the UCYPF, I will be doing the marketing aspect, the promotions, the face, basically, of UCYPF. Along with my team, the national exec, I'll be working with also UCJCI and students in Kingston, NERM, CERM, and WORM as well.
Okay. So, Javon, tell us a little about yourself. Who is Javon?
Javon, it's not too sure about Javon.
don't answer so soon, though, Javon. You know, give us some time. You know.
Basically, I'm a final year student at UA.
Whoa, big up UA.
My alma mater is Knox College in Clarendon. Also from CERM, Andrews United. Love dancing, choreographing. Left the church. I'm very jovial. Love laughing and smiling and having a good vibe with all my friends.
Okay, cool. So how has life been outside of Mandeville? Know that because I'm sure that you're living on campus here?
No.
Oh,
off.
Oh, you're living off campus.
Yeah.
But how is life being in Kingston, away from Mandeville, away from your church? How has that life been for you?
See this? Sweat. It's a bit hot.
I'm sure Mandeville is way cooler.
Yeah, cool.
So is there a United Church here in Kingston that you visit while you're in Kingston?
Yes, I visit Webster. I visit. Don't.
Calm down.
Webster.
All right. So you mentioned that you're a dancer, and when you said dancer, what kind of like tippy-toe dancing, or I don't know, like dancing, dynamite dancing, or
Swagged?
Yeah, like tell us what's the life for you like as a dancer?
As a dancer, in Kingston, it's rough. And as a male dancer, it's very hard. Being a male dancer, it kind of weighs on you to be either contemporary or a dancehall dancer. But what I do is hip hop. I do pop. I do some sort of breaking, the flip, stunts, all that little stuff.
I'm sure we'll get a peek on this dance.
I hope so.
But as a dancer and also as a Christian, it's really hard to even choose music. Because some of your friends will be like, oh, yo, dance to this Lil Wayne song. So what happened was, my mom, my church, so all that is really a challenge. And even to a lot of dancers that are here in Kingston that are Christians, we have to be in a small group and try and help us out, try and find good music like Lecrae, Triple E, hip hop Christian artists.
Right.
Also any other genres that we can tap into which doesn't differ from our own Christianity. But yeah, it's pretty hard, but you have to just push through.
Alright, let's do this. Can't keep this thing to myself. Look tight low and I know ain't nobody else. But I'm focused now and I know it's all about you. You always see me through, that's what you do. tell me where would I go?
Just push through.
Were you a dancer in Mandeville?
Yes, I was.
You danced in your church?
Few times.
Okay. Well, it's funny you said that, you know, it's not a lot of dancers that we have here, especially male dancers.
That's true.
But I'd say we had Renicia
Yeah.
last week on our show, and she's here also at you. I think she lives here
Yes,
on
she lives
campus,
on
so
campus.
you can definitely communicate with her, and we'll give you
That's
her details so you guys can go ahead and do some more, because it's not a lot of times that we have young men dancing in church.
is
So
true.
you should think about something as, you know, coming together with some other young men
And not just dance or just
and
outside
dance
the
in
box.
church.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right, Javon, it was a pleasure having
Yes,
you
it
here
was.
today with us on the UCJCI channel. We hope to hear more from you and your journey as a dancer. God bless you. Keep faith. Just continue doing your thing. And be your business.
Thank you.
Wow, good.
UCYPF, always up.
Before you go, Javon, I think it's important to also have the other dancers who are on campus and around and in Kingston who are not in their hometown to, you know, get a chance to reach out to you. So provide them with your social media details.
All of them. Okay. Young, I'm straight the point.
All.
Everything.
No, not everything. Alright, so my IG, my Twitter, and
IG's Instagram,
Yeah.
right?
my IG, my Twitter, and my Snapchat account is JMC_steps with a Z. Facebook, Javon C. McConnell. And yeah, that's supposed to be it.
Okay, so you have it here. You can reach out to Javon and keep it going so we can keep the dance alive in our United Church.
All right, Javon. Thanks.
Now, for our walk down memory lane, we will be exploring camp ministry and its impact on the life of the church.
So, Lando, you ready?
You know us already.
Come,
journey with us on this exciting mission.
Over the years, I've had a number of experiences and encounters with Reverend Thames. What perhaps has now become the fondest memory for me is the experience I had with him on the last day of his life. Of course, at the time, I didn't know it would have been, but I had gone to visit the youth camp on that day, and while the young people were getting ready for their dorms to be judged, we had a conversation which perhaps was more like an argument, and that seems to have been a theme for me and the Reverend Thames. We were talking about young adult ministry and the effectiveness of the young adult camp, and I was making an argument that we need to change the way we approach the young adult camp, shorten it, perhaps a weekend, because many are working people. And Reverend Thames was insistent that no, we need to stick to having a longer period for the camp. And I was saying to him, but you're not going to reach the people, they're not going to come. We have to change. And he said, no, we cannot change, we cannot change. I said, Reverend Thames, there's no way we can be doing the same things the same way over the years. We have to be willing to change. And he said, no, we cannot change it. Because, you see, he wanted to have the longest time with the young adults, because then that presented greater opportunity to engage them and to minister to them. And interestingly, we came to a point in that conversation where he said something that has been exchanged between us many times over the years. He said, I'm afraid we're going to have to agree to disagree. And when I look back over the years, yes, that has been said quite a number of times between us. And it really is because he was a man of very strong convictions. He was very passionate about what he believed. And one of the things that has struck me, a lot of people have spoken about, is humility. And that is true, without a doubt. He eschewed the kind of accolades that would have the focus on him. And many persons speak of his humility. And without a doubt, that is true. He was a very humble man. And he chose not to pursue life in the corporate world. He chose not to use the academic prowess that he had to exalt himself. Well, you know, he, despite being a humble man, he was not afraid to stand up and to stand out. And it's a little contradictory, because when you stand up and stand out, you bring attention to yourself. But the thing we have to remember, though, is his motivation. He wasn't afraid to stand up and stand out on issues of principle, issues of justice. So in a real sense, he still was not pointing to himself. He was pointing to the issue. And he was all about the praise and the honor going to God. So if you are going to ask him about something that has to do with the praise of God, something that will bring glory to God, certainly the thing that was so dear to his heart, evangelism, and especially evangelism and youth ministry, then without a doubt he would stand up anywhere and stand out anywhere. And that is something I truly admired. You know, over the many years of knowing Reverend Thames, this is from the 1980s, I cannot tell you that I have heard him preach a sermon from a pulpit, but I have seen him preach a sermon with his life. There are so many things he did that impacted me in a very personal way. And one of them has to do with how he dealt with people. He treated people with respect. He treated me with respect. The first time I encountered him, I was a youth at camp. It was my first youth camp in the 80s. And then years on, when I offered myself for full-time work in the church, I became his colleague. And there was no difference in how he related to me in those two categories over the years. And that has taught me something, that I need to see people. I need to see people and just relate to people. Not relating so much to positions or relating to age. I need to see people and be prepared to respect them. That is something, that's a sermon that Earl then preached to me through his life.
Camp for me has been a wonderful journey of challenge, growth, tears, and joy, fun. I remember that my brother was the first in our family to go to camp, and when he came back and told tales of camp at Iona, I got very excited, and I did go to camp after that. But I remember that it could have been my first youth camp. After teens camp, I was a little reticent about moving on, but I went to youth camp, my first youth camp, and I was so challenged. The program, the people with whom I spoke, it challenged me. The word that was given, the worship, everything was so uplifting yet challenging. And I remember that at youth camp, I think it was in 1999 or 1998, I felt a challenge to enter full-time ministry. And I wrestled with the call back at my home church, Fort Maria Kirk. And after wrestling and my encounter with a preacher at a crusade following camp, I really felt assured that God was calling me to full-time ministry. And I took up the challenge slowly, and I ran with it. and God has just been doing tremendous things in my life since then. But camp ministry then became an integral part of who I was. As part of our training, it was important that we serve at a camp. But I would do 3 camps sometimes. They had to tell us not to do so much. And I really enjoyed pouring into young people's lives, and I also experienced a lot in return as I learned from them. But I'll tell you something, growing up through camp, one of the most memorable things for me was the songs I learned. When I came back from camp, I would always have an assortment of worship songs that I use in my congregations, and they would tell us not to take the booklets, but I would always take a booklet because I needed to go back to church and teach those songs. And in the camp ministry, as I grew, I felt it was important that we taught songs and helped young people to have that experience of touching God as they worshiped Him. And I want to believe that many young people have been impacted even as I served, not because I served, but despite my serving. And there are many stories of persons who have been rescued from their situations and circumstances because of the camp ministry. I have lived through many young people feeling free, feeling refreshed, and the stories of salvation and the call to full-time ministry that have come out of the camp ministry are enough to make us realize that this is something that cannot die. We cannot afford for it to die. We have to keep pressing. And so despite the financial difficulties that the church may undergo from time to time, this is one ministry that we have to keep alive. It impacted me, it strengthened me, it allowed me to feel that I was not alone, that there are many possibilities, that the world was bigger than St. Mary or even Jamaica. And I was able, and I am able to grow because of what camp ministry has afforded me to experience as a young person growing up in the United Church. So I salute camp ministry.
Let's see what's going on in UCJCI.
Remember, this weekend we have our camp reunion special at the Clarendon College on October 29. Don't forget it.
And let us not forget to continue giving to our brothers and sisters in Haiti and their attempt to recover from the onslaught of Hurricane Matthew.
Yes, the account number is listed right here. Yes.
And it is the United Church in Jamaica and Cayman Islands Disaster Appeal Fund. Remember to check us out on Facebook at the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands.
We've come to the end of this week's journey. Continue to tune in to us.
And join us next week for another exciting episode.
Remember, don't forget to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button right below.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at UCJCI.
And don't forget to visit our website at ucjci.com. I am Orlando Dempster.
And I am Yoni Priestley.
Have a great week.
I know who I am. How many of you know who you are? Come on. Come on. Let the world know who you are. Come on. Come on. Everybody shout out. I know who I am. It's your voice, shout out.
Are we ready, kids?
So that bun me, I'm nasty. Look at it lock. You have to check. Hello. Check. Is the car locked? Come over here, son. Now. Come over here, son.
I mean, you want to put in a dirt?
No, not only that. You just sit down over here. So how much do you want to sit down over there, son? Yeah.
Let's speak to my manager. Regional Mission Council, who is a dancer and PRO elect of the United Church People. Welcome. I am Yanni Priestley.
We still continue with the bike and the song.
Gonna make Mr. Director tell us to stop.
So much people say stop because it shows like this.
Because Stephanie's voice.
Her voice was in it.
Lord, Priestley.
Baby.